What's up, everybody? Good Friday morning. Made it to the end of yet another week, and with the end of the week, we do another Pass Rush Friday from last Thursday's game. So, Pass Rush against Dallas, watching the game with like the eye test, it was not particularly good, which is weird to say because we had 4 sacks. And meanwhile, on the other side, Geno Smith got sacked 0 times, but watching that game, Dallas had a very disruptive pass rush. So that kind of goes to show you why I try to do videos like this. It's not just about the sacks. I think people get way too caught up in sack numbers and they don't consider how pressures are more indicative of how your pass rush is performing. And quite often, you're getting turnovers off of pressures. Like sacks are nice, sacks are sacks, but pressure can lead to an interception very easily. And that's even better. So that's game kind of highlighted why I try to do this because as you'll see, even though the team played a pretty good game in terms of getting sacks, they just weren't able to get Dak off his spot enough to actually change that game from what it ended up being. So let's take a look here. We're counting pressures going by PFR with a little bit of adjustment from me as I feel it's necessary. Sometimes I think PFR is just way too hard to impress, and I step in sometimes. But anyway, defensive line, it was underwhelming. We had a grand total of 2 pressures. We got one from Jaron Reed and one from Leonard Williams. The real issue here, of course, being Draymond Jones, who at this point, I understand that he's out there way too much and he's playing a bunch of different positions and we're asking him to wear all these different hats. But we need Draymond Jones to be a little more big time than this. That is 2 straight games without getting a single quarterback pressure for Draymond. And given the money we paid him and given the expectations, we do need to see better. I think part of the problem is we don't utilize him in the right way, but there are some things here that are on him as well. He doesn't seem like he's particularly strong in the trenches, and he is actually playing on the edge more lately. So if that's part of his skill set, that's something we're trying to utilize now, and we're still not really seeing much of it. So the other guys, it's hard for me to even get on them because they play way too much or they don't play at all. Like Mario Edwards didn't play that much. Cam Young didn't play that much. So them not getting the pressures, whatever. Reed and Leonard Williams play so much they get exhausted halfway through the game, I think. But Draymond's the guy who clearly needs to step it up here. And this is an interesting crossroads for him, I think, because it is within the realm of possibility that he's not here next year if he doesn't start doing something, if he doesn't show up big in these last 5 games. All right, linebackers, really simple. We had a Jordan Brooks sack in this game. That was the only pressure from the linebackers. Again, somehow we play Bobby Wagner almost 90 snaps in a game, and we barely blitz him. Like, clearly, that's where his skill set would lend itself to at this point. Like, I know he didn't get destroyed in coverage against the Cowboys, but if Dak Prescott's dropping back to pass that many times, Bobby should be consistently generating stuff in the backfield. He should not be dropping into coverage all the time. That is Bobby's strength right now. And I will say this, Brooks also blitzed on a goal line play that resulted in a touchdown. So maybe the plan was to do a lot of inside linebacker blitzing and then we backed out of it because Brooks got hurt, but I don't think that's a good reason. So yeah, 1 pressure from the inside linebackers. Now we go to the edge rushers. Little bit better here, but still, like, Boye Mafe had 1 QB pressure. He continues to play effectively. Darrell Taylor had 2. One of them was a sack. The other one was the one where he grabbed Dak and let him go, which I have a little bit of sympathy for because referees protect quarterbacks so much he's trying to avoid a penalty. But, just tackle him. Like, how can that be illegal to just tackle him? Like, I do think that part of it is also the responsibility of the NFL. If you're going to protect quarterbacks that much, you need to have a quick whistle when they're in the grasp. Like, that play maybe should have been blown dead because Dak is in the grasp. Darrell Taylor doesn't take him down because he doesn't want to draw a flag. And Dak gets away because Taylor lets him go because he's trying to avoid that. So maybe the issue is the officials don't blow the play dead soon enough, so you get what you get. But regardless, it's an ugly looking play. I do want to say that Darrell Taylor, for all of his faults and limitations as a player, is really starting to heat up here. He's been really good at generating pressure for almost 2 months now. And credit where credit's due, I know that's something that he's not necessarily going to be able to get by his whole career on, but it is something that provides some value. And I appreciate that value. And that's it. Frank Clark did not get any pressures. Derek Hall only played 4 snaps, so what's he going to do? And yeah, that's how you have a very mediocre day rushing the quarterback because, yeah, we didn't get anything from cornerbacks. There was one play where Witherspoon kind of got close to Dak, and maybe you could give him a pressure, but it was on the play where Darrell Taylor got a sack anyway. So Taylor's getting the credit for that pressure anyway. Other than that, I don't think there were any other plays where a cornerback was really blitzed or even got close. And then we had Jamal Adams get credit for one QB pressure in that game. Good thing he did something there too, because this was the first game this year where his coverage was really bad. But yeah, Jamal Adams gets the one pressure. So that's 7 in this game, which it's not terrible. But when you look at how many times Dak dropped back to pass, it's definitely not good enough. And I do think this highlights the issues we had in this game by and large. We were efficient. 7 of our 4, or excuse me, 4 of our 7 pressures resulted in a sack. I guess that's cool, but man, this is not where we need to be overall. And I do want to stress that the last couple games we played, the pressure was there a little bit better, and we still didn't really have success. So I'm not saying this is the only thing that's giving us problems, but the inability to generate consistent pressure on Dak, who dropped back to pass probably, 42, 43 times in that game. That's a big issue here. That's a big part of the issue. So we are on pace to get to 170 pressures on the season. We are on pace to get there. But that game, I don't think was good enough. Overall, I think our QB pressure this year has been decent. It's not been great, but I am going to go ahead and say that it's been workable. It's these other things that are a bigger issue. But you could argue that with the talent that we have, it should be more than just okay. It should be extraordinary. And that would definitely be true if Nwosu didn't get hurt. I will say that. Nwosu gets hurt, that takes a bite out of it, but you got to find a way to manufacture more pressure, and right now we're just not. All right, that's it for this one. See you guys later. We are getting close to the end of the season now, and I mean, this is one area where we're actually holding up okay, where in the past, people who have been watching my videos for years know Pass Rush Fridays have usually been a very morbid affair, but this year they've been overall workable. So, a little bit of good news in this not so good season. All right, I'll see you guys later. Go Hawks. More videos coming later today. You guys know the drill. Peace out.